Angela, you got a message. All right, and welcome everyone. Here we are again with another year of the Black Entrepreneur Town Hall, and we are excited about the guests that we have joining us tonight and the information that we're going to hear, the insight that we're going to gain, the inspiration that we're going to feel in this next half hour, 45 minutes, hour and a half, 2 hours. We'll see how this goes. But before we bring up our guests that are with us tonight, we want to just share with you really quickly why we are here, why we are launching this movement, this cause, this agenda, also known as the Year of the Black Entrepreneur. You know, as we look back and reflect on 2020, and we see the impact of the social injustices, we see the impact of COVID, in some of the work that I do by day, saw unemployment peak to 14.9% in April. We began to see entrepreneurs who were not in position to take advantage of some of the relief funding and the PPE funding and things that was available to help our businesses and our communities continue to thrive. And to wrap all of that up in a bow, you know, we as a Black community boast a $1.7 trillion, yes, with the T, $1 trillion economy. Yet it is predicted that by the year 2050, Black wealth in America will be zero. And just that little bit of information alone causes pause and then inspires us, obligates us to have to stand up and do something. And so the Year of the Black Entrepreneur is all about redefining Black entrepreneurship. It's all about elevating, highlighting, and educating Black entrepreneurs in order to create a gateway to that access and opportunity that for so long has not been afforded us as easily, if you will, as it has others. And so we just believe that it's now time to be able to cast our line into the waters of abundance and prosperity, but that requires action on our part. So if you're just joining us for the first time, again, welcome to our, I think, fourth now town hall with the Year of the Black Entrepreneur, simply to engage you and inspire you to join this movement that we are amongst. And so without further ado, this is not about me doing all the talking. I want to make sure that we go ahead and get our guest tonight involved. But I want to do something a little different tonight and have my partner in crime, who's been doing a lot of the magic behind the scenes, implementer, making things happen. I want to have her introduce this special couple that we're going to be talking to tonight. So, Angela?
Ryan. He always throwing the monkey wrench out there, knowing I don't want to be on here, but because of who we have with us tonight, this is a couple that I just adore. I adore them. I think they are a powerful couple in this entrepreneurial community. They're making it happen. Businesses, family, and I just love seeing them. They are such an inspiration, and I know that they're going to be an inspiration to our community out here tonight. I'm not going to talk much. I want them to get on here so that they can start sharing with you all the secret sauce in making marriage and entrepreneurship with two separate businesses work. And now I give to you, Cheryl and D. I call him D. He'll tell you his whole name. I call him D. Lakes. Y'all come off mute. There you go.
Welcome, Cheryl and Don Tavis. How you guys doing?
Thanks for having us. How you doing?
How are you?
Doing great. It's a pleasure to have you. We have with us Mr. Don Tavis Lakes, CEO and President of Lakes Transportation, and his lovely wife, Cheryl Lakes, the owner of Blooming Baby 4D LLC. And both of you guys are out of Wake Forest, I understand.
We are, yes.
All right, great. Well, I just kind of set you up there, but tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're up to.
So my name is Cheryl Lakes. I am, as you mentioned, Ryan, I'm the owner and founder of Blooming Baby 4D Ultrasound Studio. I'm located in Wake Forest. I offer elective ultrasounds to expecting moms from as early as 8 weeks all the way until they deliver their baby. I would be doing myself a huge disservice if I only introduce myself as a business owner. I'm also a mom of 3 beautiful children that Don Tavis and I share together. I am a wife of 16 years. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. You know, I'm a friend. I'm all those things. And so I'm not just an entrepreneur. And I think that's what makes, that's what, you know, that's that secret Angela was talking about. That's that special sauce secret. I'll let my husband introduce himself.
Okay, my name is Don Tavis Lakes, president of Lakes Transportation. We are a trucking company who contracts with Snyder National and move freight and do logistics for different companies.
Awesome.
I am the husband of this beautiful Cheryl Lakes. We work as a team, collective efforts. We put in a lot of work together.
Yeah.
We figured out how to balance things with business and 3 kids. We're working on it, but we've almost figured it completely.
We've almost figured it out.
Yeah.
We've almost mastered it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, give us a little history. So 16 years ago, that was 2004. You guys were somewhere, I'm sure, in the aisle, walking down that aisle. But where are you from, independently, and just a little bit about your background prior to, because that always helps to understand the mindset that you brought into your business journey. So if you both would just share a little bit of background, how you came up, where you're from, just some of the little history.
So we're both from the same city. We're from a small town called Albany. It's in Georgia, located in Southeast Georgia. We grew up pretty much, you know, our upbringings were very similar. Some differences. I come from a 2 family household. My mom, my dad. Don Tavis comes from a single family household, and we, you know, that is what makes us, that's the beauty of our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of brought 2 families together and made our own. You know, I grew up with my grandparents, you know, close by. I had a praying grandmother. I remember she'd sit in her rocking chair on the front porch and just rock back and forth. And I know that she was praying for me. She's no longer here with me, but I know that her prayers have kept me thus far.
Yes.
We moved to the Raleigh-Durham area about 9 years ago. I took a job as a registered vascular technologist at Duke University. So that's what brought us to the area. Don Tavis, of course, followed. He had no idea that, you know, the life that we would make here in this area. It was I mean, he had no idea. And so we got up here. He was working for a contractor. He was driving trucks. And I sat him down one day and I said, babe, you know, you're driving for this guy. You can drive for yourself. You know, you can do it. You can do this for yourself. And he was a little, you know, hesitant at first. He was a lot hesitant at first. But I'm that type of person, Ryan. I don't take no for an answer. You can't just tell me no.
Thanks for the warning.
And so I pushed him, you know, and I was there by his side through every single obstacle that he faced, and I pushed him, and he actually became an entrepreneur before I did.
She's an idealist and a dreamer. She dreams big, and she has goals, and she pushes her goals, and she goes after her goals, and she has goals even for me. And when she sets them, she has an eye on the prize, and she goes and get it, and she sets forth, and she makes me believe. I'm more of a believer now than ever before. She makes me believe in everything she has to offer and puts forth on the table.
That's awesome. D, what would you say maybe for some of those beliefs or just ways of thinking that that needed that push? What would you say maybe
the way most Black entrepreneurs come into it, or shall I say most Black people are raised, we're kind of taught to, you go to work, you do your job, and you go home. And entrepreneurship is very scary because of the aspect of failure, you know, when it comes to having your own business. You know, it's all up to you. Everything is on you. You put it all on the line, you know, to be your own boss and to have your own business or your own company or whatever that you're trying to do. So, you know, it's just more of a scary situation, you know, for people. And you have to build that faith to get out there and do it. And some people do it on their own. If it wasn't for Miss Cheryl Lakes, I probably would still be driving for somebody else. Yeah. But, you know, with her vision and me just saying, okay, let's do it, because if she supports me, I can't lose, you know? So when you go out there and you jump out there and you do it, and we've been in business with that business since 2013. Yep. So.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been pretty good. So.
Yeah.
It's just getting out there and believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself and believe that you can do it, you know? Yeah. And you have to prepare, and you have to set yourself up for success. You know, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be overnight. You know, I didn't just go buy a truck. You know, it's an 18-wheeler. You're talking about a big purchase. So, absolutely. You know, you have to set yourself up to be successful. Yeah. So you can't, you have to have delayed gratification in some aspects and not expect instant gratification, because it doesn't happen like that. You know, as I've talked to some of my brothers that's gotten into trucking, it's something that I met when we first got up here. Like she said, it's been 9 years. I have a friend of mine that just got his first truck, maybe 2 weeks ago. So it just took him a little more time, you know, to get his own truck. But if you want it, just keep your eye on the prize and just go after what you want, and it'll happen.
Absolutely. Yep. And so Donnie started his business in 2013. And I didn't start my business until 2016. I kind of started it. But what prompted me to start my business, Ryan, is as I spoke of, I work for Duke University, and I'm still employed there. And I was up for a promotion, and I kind of put my name in the hat, so to speak. And I got turned down. And that's, you know, people used to talk about, when I was young, I used to hear people saying, you know, these big companies and corporations, it's the politics. And I never understood that. But the politics is what kind of got me away from the promotion. I wasn't, I didn't look like what they wanted me to look like. And so one of my counterparts, who was, younger than I was, less experienced than I had. She ended up with the job, and I was torn. I was torn for years, and I really had to pray that away, pray that feeling away from me because I didn't like it. But I'm a natural born leader. I'm a leader. I was born a leader. I remember my teacher, I was in elementary, and my teacher would call my parents and say, "Hey, this girl's trying to teach my class." Like I was that kid.
That's her.
And I just, I'm that person. I take hold of the reins and I will drive.
Mhm.
And so I knew that was not the end for me. Most people or some people would have said, I'm not good enough. I'm just going to stay in my lane. I'm going to stay back here. And that wasn't me. I knew there was more inside of me to give to this world. And so I pushed myself and I said, I'm really good at what I do. So I'm going to figure out how to be really good at what I do outside of this place. And so that's what kind of pushed me to open up Blooming Baby 4D. That was the birth of my vision of my baby.
Yeah. I believe that not just entrepreneurs, but people, right? We only tend to do what we believe we can do, right? And sometimes that belief is that seed of belief is planted in different places of different people's lives, right?
Yes.
And so somewhere it was placed in your life, and then you were able to place it in Dee's life. Can you think back to where that dreamer leader, can you think back to where that sparked from?
Absolutely.
And we're with Cheryl Lakes and Dee Lakes of Blooming Baby 4D, if you're just joining us, and Lakes Transportation, if you're just joining us. But yes, where would you say that sparked from?
That vision was placed into me as a child, Ryan. I remember my father was an educator. He was a teacher, retired now, but he was an educator. And he always told my brothers and my sister and I, he said, you can do anything that you place your mind to. Mm-hmm. Whatever you want to do, you can do it.
Yeah.
And don't let anything stop, like nothing can stop you. Yeah. And that was something that my mother and my father, that's the seed that they planted in. And I don't know, I believe that I was born a leader, but I also believe that because my parents fed my leader spirit, that spirit within me, yep. I believe that is what pushed me to where I am today. I don't take no for an answer. Becoming an entrepreneur and opening my business and helping Donnie start his business, it wasn't easy. But whenever we got a no, we went to the next step until we got a yes. And trust me, the way we look, we're brown-skinned people, We are young African-American. We're a married couple with 3 children who require a lot of attention and money. And a lot of people told us no. Yeah. But we took that no, and that is what put that, I think, just me being born a leader, my parents, and, feeding my soul and all of the no's that were given to me is what pushed me to become an entrepreneur and to be where I am today. Wow.
We're excited that you guys are here tonight. Just as I'm hearing you talk, and now I know exactly why Angela wanted to bring you guys on. I mean, I teach a curriculum called the Entrepreneurship of Self, and it's really just all about treating yourself like you're the business, right? So many times we make so much investment into the business, but the business cannot grow beyond the level of investment we make into ourselves. And so as we begin to invest in ourselves, then we grow, and then our business grows accordingly. And you're just laying down the principles that we talk about in that course. I mean, from recognizing choice, right? I mean, you recognize at an earlier age, like, okay, I have some choices. I'm gonna go down this path, but as soon as they tell me I don't have a choice anymore, right? I'm gonna leverage that and I'm gonna take choice, and then I'm gonna take action, recognize my opportunities, and then just that perseverance, right? That can't take no for an answer type of mentality is so valuable in this journey. And that's exactly what the Year of the Black Entrepreneur is all about, is number one, educating and highlighting, but then helping to develop that belief that we all have a set of gifts and talents and characteristics that we can deploy into the marketplace in exchange for value. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. So talk to us here just a minute. Where were you in your business January, February? Like, I know myself, Angela, so many of my team, we had this 2020 vision, right? We're going into 2020, so much clarity. I got a plan. I got to go. And I can only imagine, Cheryl, now that I'm getting to know you, that you had it laid out to the T, right? And then here comes February, and this thing called the coronavirus hits. Yeah. Take us through that journey with you guys as two business owners, separate businesses, married with 3 children, managing school. How old are your children?
16, 10, and 4.
Wow. So right there in the middle, managing the school system, and I imagine maybe even daycare with the 4-year-old. I don't know. Right. So walk us through that with you guys. How did you navigate such a uncertain season of our lives?
It was so difficult, and I was so very unprepared, Ryan, because I had just reached that mark in my business where, this is a 5-star studio in Wake Forest. People are finding out that I'm there. They're finding out what great customer service we offer. They're finding out, that we put our clients first. And we were, November, December of 2019 was like, it was leading. It was almost like a setup. I was feeling so good about 2020. And then the coronavirus hit. They started, our state started shutting things down in stages. And I wasn't with that first wave, but I was, we kept calling.
Stayed on the phone with the state.
And just saying like, hey, do I have to close? And they're like, no, not yet. And when we finally got the word that we had to close because we were an elective, we offered an elective service, it did something to my spirit. It really kind of put me in the dump. There were several nights when I would just cry in my husband's arms because I'm like, this is it for me. Like, I can't make it past this pandemic. Like, I won't be able to thrive. I'm out in Wake Forest in a very upscale area. So, the landlord wants his money, and he wants his money next month and the next month after that. And so, it was a very sad moment for me. And it wasn't until I got on my knees one night and I said, like, God, what are you doing? Because I am that person, Ryan. I manifest things that happen in my life. Okay. And this wasn't part of that manifestation. This was not part of that. And so I would be on the phone with him crying. His business was thriving. Trucks were like running, and they were running hard, so he was running harder than ever. And me, I'm at home, I'm stuck with the kids, and I'm a doer. Like I didn't know what to do. I was just like, what do I do? Where do I go from here? Like, what do I do? And I'd be on the phone with my father, I'd be crying, and I just didn't know what to do with myself until one day I realized, you know what? I can make this good for me. Like, I can make this moment good for me. Yeah. I'm here. I have 3 healthy children. I'm getting to spend more time with them, because when I tell you, I don't spend much time at home pre-pandemic. I didn't spend much time at home. It was my husband putting the kids to bed. It was my husband cooking dinner. It was my husband saying good night prayers and reading stories. And then by the time I would get home,
7D.
the kids are in the bed. He said, give them some, babe.
Give me some. Give me some.
Oh, yeah.
It was him. And
My
so
man.
now the tables had turned.
Mhm.
And I really think when I look back on that moment, Ryan, I really feel like that was what was supposed to happen. That is what God wanted in my life. He wanted me to be home with my children. I spent 4 months at home with them. You know, I was able to really kind of tune in to their lives because I had been so absent for so long.
And
so
after reopening, we found more balance
that's
too.
right.
With Blooming Baby. We found to relax it a little bit more than going into the business
just
so uptight with it, you know, so hard nosed at it. We learned to relax it after the pandemic. Well, the pandemic's not over, but we've ended up opening back up. But
I'm not as busy. I've relinquished some of my duties. And that was the problem that I faced.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody to come in there and run my business because I knew they wouldn't run it like me.
Right.
I knew they wouldn't. They're not me. And so I was there 24/7, running my business the way I knew it should be run. It should be ran. And so this has taught me, you know what? You are only one person. You got 2 legs, 2 arms, and you are one person. And you have these 3 beautiful kids at home, and they're not going to be kids for long. And so relinquish some of your duties. Hire more staff.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's so
and so that's, and it's, you know, some people will look at this pandemic as a bad thing, and it is horrible. It is horrible what our nation has faced this past year. But for me, I can honestly say that something good has come out of this, and that's been the time.
Yeah. I just recently, like today, read somewhere where it says that your living is determined not so much by what life brings you as by the attitude you bring to life.
Right.
Yeah.
Not so much by what happens to you as by the way your mind looks at what happens.
Right.
That's right.
I read that at the bottom of your email.
I was gonna say that's my joy.
And it's so true, right? Like we either, it's the thermostat or the thermometer, right? Are you being controlled or are you controlling, right? And not from
Right. But Ryan, that quote has been at the bottom of my email for years.
But that's the mindset, right?
That's my mindset.
And even the best of us, sometimes situations and circumstances can snatch us a little bit, right? But then to be reminded, right? Because when you have that mindset, you're not going to stay there long. And once you gotta had your moment, right? It may have been an extended moment, but you realize that no, it's not what happens to me. It's really how I respond. And the individuals who have responded to this pandemic, not reacted, right? And the people that are, 2020, just throw it in the trash, it's over. And I'm like, no, like if you really go back and look at 2020 and take this opportunity and reflect back on it, if you had the right perspective, it's created tremendous opportunities. It's about families closer together. Some folks are better off financially now than they have been in years, right? Some people got more peace of mind than they've had in years. And so just real quick, Dee, walk us through your experience. So your business took off, right? But you saw the love of your life in a bit of a panic. What was going through your mind at that time?
Ooh, it got tough on at one time. It was almost breakdown because she had not been used to the kids 24/7. The clinics at Duke were shut down. At this time, Blooming's Baby shut down, and I got trucks rolling. We rolling. So I'm super busy, and she's super mom at the house.
Yeah.
And she made it through. She did good. It was tough, but we made it through the aspect of that. So
that's awesome. Well, and then again, the other hurdles that we identify with a lot of our entrepreneurs, that the greater percentage of us are solopreneurs, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's only so far you're going to grow, right? And so we have to get to that point where we can trust and begin to delegate some of those responsibilities out. There's just capacity issues. And so when we're trying to scale, trying to grow, trying to build sustainable businesses and then have a family and all those other components, those are the challenges. And so again, that's one of the pieces we're hoping to put solutions around with this year of the Black Entrepreneur. So now that you guys got your bearings a little bit, you got some structure and you're feeling good about it and you have some balance, right? Talk to us. What do you see as we reflect and close out 2020? Where do you guys see yourselves in the next 6, 12, 9 months in the year of 2021?
This year has definitely forced Donnie and I to be more present. It's forced us to be more present in the moment, and just really like embrace what's going on. We can't control this pandemic, but we can, like you said, we can have a positive attitude and we can make the most out of it. And as far as our kids, we realize like what's important. Our children are what's important, and leading them and guiding they are the next generation. And just as our grandparents and parents, led us, it's time for us to lead our children. And so I think, we're focusing on being more present. And then back in, early December when Angela texted me about joining your live, I was super excited about it. And then I got on and I saw you and I listened to you for 5 minutes and I was like, wow, this guy has so much of what I want to give, and the year of the Black entrepreneur, like that is just, it's amazing. And I'm grateful to you for even, starting something like this because as African Americans, we lack so much. We lack access to capital. We lack access to knowledge of the information that's available to us, those options. It's all about who you know. And if you don't know those right people, you're just kind of out there. You're left out in the cold. And I think as Black people, and I've always told Donnie this, like, we should like come together more. I feel like if we came together, if our race came together, oh my goodness, like we can break so many barriers. And so after your live, like I got on your website, I signed up for your e-newsletters. And I know you were talking about everything was going to start rolling out January 1st. And I went home and told him about it. And I'm like, January 1st, like we're going to help this, we're going to be a part of this YBE. And then the other day it was so bizarre because Angela Milton reached out to me and she's like, hey, like I want you to be a part. And I was like, wow, that was just so, and that's just an example of how I manifest things in my life. And I think that, if we really tuned into this world and like it's all out there for us. Nothing is restricted from us. We just have to go out there and like get it and reach it. And if we can think it in our minds, we can touch it with our hands. And so that's my motto. And I teach my kids that. Yeah. And I tell them the same thing my father told me. You can have anything that your heart desires. However you want your life to be, it can be that way. Right. You manifest it, you think it right here, and then you go to work.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, it's such a powerful, but again, we only do what we believe, right? And so,
that's right.
And so what we want to create through this model is the community, right? Yeah. Of the Cheryls who was having a successful career in corporate, but somebody put a barrier up and she said, well, you know what? I'm not going to stop there. I'm not going to be dictated by that, right? Tavius, who's over here, I'm sure chilling, just making good money, but then you're like, but honey, right? There's some more over here, right? Let's get a bigger cookie jar, right? And so entrepreneurship when we look at it in the media, it's been put in. It's the way that it's been portrayed makes the ordinary entrepreneur, if you will, who's getting extraordinary results like you guys are, but it's not visible, right? It's the guys who are, cracking these large IPOs and out in Silicon Valley, and those are entrepreneurs. No, I'm talking about the mom and dad in Wake Forest who are running businesses, driving trucks while managing a family. And whether you're making $50,000 a year or 150 or $500,000, you are a successful entrepreneur. And that deserves to be highlighted and elevated. And all of those individuals need the support in order to help them to not, we don't want to do this to survive, right, man? It's time out for surviving, right? It's time that we begin to thrive and flourish and build examples and leave legacies. And we're going to leave a legacy anyway, right? But leave a good legacy and begin to, my wife, we were talking, we're out in Nashville, just kind of hanging out for a few days. And we were talking through some things. And our goal was the end of this year. She said, all right, just got the boys a couple pieces of stock. I got a 2-year-old and an 11-month-old. And so but I don't learn that in my own little bubble. I learned that by expanding my relationships, right? Who I have coffee with, who I have lunch with, who plant those seeds in me. And so we want to invite those other entrepreneurs to hear your story, to hear your conversations, and then be inspired to say, you know what, man, I can do more. I can have more. I can become more. I can create opportunities for other people. And that's how we grow. And so, man, I'm excited to hear you say that because you get it. You get the vision of what we're up to.
And we do have, as Blacks, we have obstacles. We do have those. Knowledge is power. We have a lot more accessibility to knowledge with the internet than we ever had back in the day well. So we have to put forth out what we have and get the knowledge, get online, do the research, find out what you want to do and the best routes to take to get to where you want to be. In your life and your goals in your business. So like you were saying with the stocks, we buy stocks. I buy stocks every Friday. So, and that's something they don't teach us, in investments, invest in things. So we invest in stocks and we invest in our business. We invest in our family. We're investing in everything to continue to grow. Because we not only want to work, but we want our money to work for us as well. Absolutely. And knowledge is power, so you just got to learn.
Just to piggyback off of what he's saying, like it's really exciting to be on here. As I speak at, it's always me speaking at engagements. It's never him and I. And so when Angela asked if he could join, I was super excited, Ryan, because this is not just an entrepreneurial journey for me. This is a family. This is a life journey for me. And I hear so many of my friends saying, oh, I can't do that now. I have a family, I have a husband and I have kids to focus on. But yes, you can. You can do it. We have 3 children who require lots of our time. We have a teenager who just started driving, and we have a 4-year-old who is jumping off of walls every day, and so it's like, you can do it. You can do it. And he's been my biggest supporter. And without him, I wouldn't be successful. And without me, he wouldn't be successful. This is a team effort. And when we have friends, we have married friends, and all we hear is, oh, that's her money. Oh, that's his money. No, it needs to be, if you come together as a couple, husband and wife, and join together like a team. And no, we don't always agree. We have knocked down battles about business decisions. And it's real.
And it's business decisions.
It's real.
We have become so passionate about our businesses and our business adventures and our growth and our legacy that we want to leave for our kids, and just making sure that we take the right steps and do the right things to continue to grow. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to make errors. It's always going to be a learning process. Always going to be a learning process. You always have to learn. You always have to listen, have your ears open, always be willing to meet the right people and talk to any
Yeah.
and everybody, because you do not know what knowledge they hold.
That's right.
Good stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to be teaching much. We got some folks who are capable. I'm going to sit on the back row with my notebook and pen and just take notes from the powerful couples like you guys.
And that secret sauce sitting right there quiet. Now that's really that secret
She
sauce
is.
right there.
And
Angela
that's
Milton,
and I was
she
gonna
is a
say
secret
that, you
sauce.
know, I've always heard of people having mentors and people that, you know, kind of like led them. And I was like, I wish I had somebody like that. And it wasn't until I met Angela, and don't get me wrong, my parents were mentors throughout my life. And then my husband was a mentor in my life. But meeting someone from the outside, and you have a connection, and you're just like, wow, she has so much wisdom. Like that has been Angela for me. You know,
and she has been genuinely supportive.
Absolutely.
Like, oh yeah.
That's super supportive. Like, and that smile, I never seen her without it. Like, she just keep it with her. Like, she used to come through that Blooming Baby studio. She come through that door. Hey, D. And
that's her.
Yeah.
She is always happy, and she has been super supportive.
Very supportive.
For Blooming Baby and us.
Yep.
And everything. So we appreciate her.
Yep.
Well, she's absolutely been tremendous. I would have not launched out on this journey without her in my corner. And I've learned so much from her. And, you know, it's people like her building a community, as you said earlier, we just got to come together, man. Like, and building a community of Angelas, right? People who genuinely care about the success of other people is what this is all about. And so, man, I'm so grateful for you guys, for your time tonight and just sharing your story. This won't be the last time. And I absolutely hope that you'll be a part of our journey in moving this year of the Black Entrepreneur forward. You know, the vision is, you know, I'm a visionary as well, Cheryl. I like to look out. D, you were talking my language. I do a lot of financial literacy, and I always talk about that long-term vision, right? That long-term view, looking out on the horizon, and that letting that help you to make your short-term decisions, right? So that you can now have a strategy going forward. And so you guys are speaking my language. And so when we look out to the end of 2021, you know, we're envisioning 400 to 500, you know, Black entrepreneurs and our allies who are suit and tied up, having a fabulous dinner in community with one another. We're going to march, you know, 7 or 8 Black entrepreneurs across the stage and award them. Somebody will get awarded the Black Entrepreneur of the Year. And then we're going to slide the tables and the chairs out the way and turn that thing into a party, man, and just have a good time and get us ready to do this thing all over again in 2022. And so we're excited that you guys will be a part of this journey. And so before we wrap up, because I know you guys are busy, you may have a 4-year-old hanging from the chandeliers by now. And so share with us how we can contact you, stay in touch with you. I'm hoping our listeners will reach out to you, will patronize you. So let us know how to reach you, how to contact you, how to support you out there in your businesses.
So you can support me. You can follow me, my business page, social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Blooming Baby 4D. We do have a website. It's www.bloomingbaby4d.com. I also have a personal social media. It's just Cheryl on both platforms. And before I turn it over to Donnie, I just want to leave your listeners with just something that's really near and dear to my heart. I come from a family of Christians, and I have lots of people praying for me. And this is a scripture that my grandmother actually shared with me before she passed. It's "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." That's Jeremiah 29:11 through 13.
Absolutely.
Blessing.
Thank you. Thank you for grounding us, because that's absolutely what it's about. I was going to go into this earlier. You know, I believe that right from the beginning, God put man in a garden, right? And he gave us dominion, right? He said, be fruitful. He said, stop there, right? Then he said, multiply. Then he stopped there. Then he said, subdue, right? Which means the increase. And he didn't stop there. Then he said, go have dominion, control, that long-term vision. Like, man, he gave us the plan. He gave us the playbook. And now it's up to us to take action. So thank you for sharing that. D, talk to us.
So me, I'm not much of a social type person. My business is
I
logistics.
want to be like you when I grow up. I don't want no social media, email, nothing.
But my business is more logistical. So logistics, I contract with companies like Snyder. So mainly just reach out to Blooming Baby and contact us. But you know, I just want to preach, you know, invest in yourself, invest in your future. And we just need to try the banking system for loans and support. And Angela's been great. But that we just need more of that help us, you know, banking Black and, you know, being supportive, you know, because I mean, it's situations now where I know you can walk into a bank and be turned down for a loan, but someone with the same situation can get approved for these loans, you know, and we have a relationship with banks right now, so we don't have a problem, you know, too much going to get things done because we have that relationship. So that's what I mean. You got to build these relationships with different financial institutions and just work at it. Just work at everything. Just be mindful of everything you do because everything you do affects your future. You know, so
that's good stuff, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we as we said earlier, just that access, right? And you know, told Angela, you know, to be able to position Black entrepreneurs to walk into a bank, a financial institution, anytime you sign your name at the bottom of something, to hand it over with your head held high. And say that the only reason you can turn me around is because it's personal, right? And we walk in there with our pride and our ego and intact, and not from a negative perspective, but we're going in there because we know we got our business fixed, right? We know we are running legitimate operations in legitimate empires, and there is absolutely no reason, because I've done my homework, right? D, I did my research, and I'm giving you something that I know I qualify for, right? And so now that's a different conversation, and when we can start doing that as a people, Now we begin to move the needle forward, because we have all of these other things that influence the conversation. I want to get on that monkey too hard, but it's an economic conversation, right? At the end of the day, it's an economic conversation, and you get that right because money talks. We know that, right? And so it's how we get in a position to take back that control, because we know we've done it before. You look out in Tulsa, you look over in Durham, right? We've seen it. You know, there's anywhere we've really put our focus and our heart, effort, and energy into it. You know, we grab that dominionship. We don't play around. And so to reinvigorate that mindset in our people, and there's absolutely nothing that we can't do, and even more we can do together and collectively. So with individuals like you out there as examples, we can't lose, and Cheryl's not going to let us lose anyway. So
no.
Angela, any closing thoughts or comments? Any questions from anybody that might be in the house with us here with Zoom? I don't know if anything's popped up on Facebook, but again, we are delighted to have you both here. And we're toying with doing something around marriage and entrepreneurship. And so I think we've got one of the couples that we can definitely sit up on the stage and share some insight to our other participants as the year unfolds.
The only thing we have in chat is Courtney Davis said, "You two are an amazing couple," and I second that, third it, fourth it, and fifth it. I'm so proud of just what you all are doing. I'm so happy that you have had the opportunity to share and and just be real and that it's not easy, but it's possible. You can do it if you have that supporting each other. So I'm so happy for you guys, and I And I know it's so much more in store for you all. And I'm glad y'all riding with us here with YBE.
Awesome. Thank you again, Cheryl, Dontavius, appreciate you guys for being here. If you are listening and joining in, again, you can get engaged with the Year of the Black Entrepreneur by going out to ybehub.com. That is ybehub.com. You can follow us on social media, Facebook, and also if you're following Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership, that's where we're promoting most of it until we build the YBE community. So we look forward to seeing you at our vision casting event, which will be this Friday. Yes, New Year's Day, after you have awakened and recovered from your night of celebration at 1:00 p.m. We'll be casting the vision of the Year of the Black Entrepreneur 2021, and we hope to see you there. Good night, everyone. Thanks so much.